She kissed another guy at midnight while I watched. By dawn, she came home to find her engagement ring gone. Be me, Derek. Standing on the balcony at 11:58 p.m., holding a half-finished Corona that went warm 25 minutes ago. Pretending I'm not watching the clock. New Year's Eve party is loud as hell. Too loud, but all I can hear is my heart pounding. Surrounded by strangers I barely know. Victoria is somewhere inside with some guy I've never seen before. She said he was a coworker, just a coworker. Tyler's harmless, she laughed a few weeks back. Was pulling her hair into a ponytail. Wouldn't look me in the eyes. He's one of those flirty guys, but it doesn't mean anything. At midnight, I hear everyone cheering from inside. Countdown being shouted by dozens of voices. 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm standing here alone watching fireworks light up the sky. Someone started them down the street. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she's not beside me. Walk inside slowly, careful not to make eye contact. Scan the room for her. Laughter, confetti, couples holding each other. Kissing, posing for selfies. My eyes move past the leather couch, past the granite kitchen island, to the hallway that leads to the guest bedroom. Door is half closed. That's where I see it. She kissed him at midnight. I say nothing. Don't cause a scene. Don't shout or break anything. Just stand there for a second too long. Long enough for her to see me from the corner of her eye, as she pulls away from his lips, and smiles like she's never been caught. She doesn't flinch, doesn't apologize, just looks away like I don't matter. Leave without speaking. Lift ride home feels like a coma. Every streetlight smears against the window. I'm not angry yet. It's like I'm floating above my own body, watching myself from the ceiling. Unlock the door, walk inside. Stand in our dark living room. Her Christmas decorations are still up. Little string lights she wrapped around the fireplace. Blinking steadily, mockingly. Go to the bedroom. Take off my Rolex. Take off my wedding ring. Place hers next to it. Sleep on the couch with Bruno curled at my feet. She comes home at 8:15 a.m. Sound of her stilettos on the hardwood floor. Surgical, confident. Not the walk of someone who just got caught. She stops at the end of the hallway. Looks into the living room and sees me sitting there. Doesn't ask why I'm not in bed. Doesn't ask about the rings. Just goes into the bathroom and closes the door behind her. That silence between us isn't an accident. It's the beginning of a declaration. And the end of something I hadn't realized was already dead. She comes out of the bathroom 35 minutes later. Like nothing happened. Her face is washed, makeup gone, hair tied up in a loose, messy bun, wearing one of my old college t-shirts. Like it means something. She doesn't look at me. Not even a glance. Just walks to the kitchen, opens the fridge, pulls out a carton of cranberry juice, and drinks straight from it. I stay on the couch. Elbows on my knees, hands clasped, eyes fixed on the spot where her ring used to sit. The space feels colder than it should have. Morning, she mutters. That's it. That's the whole acknowledgement. Not a question, not an apology, not even a smirk. Just morning. Like she hadn't just erased a decade of us in a single kiss. Or maybe not just a kiss. I'm not sure anymore, can't be. I stand up. She looks over finally, blinking like she just noticed I existed again. I wait, thinking she'll say something. Anything. She doesn't. Where were you last night? I ask. My voice doesn't even sound like mine. Too steady, too quiet. She shrugs. Actually shrugs. I told you I might crash there. Everyone was drinking. You didn't crash there, I say. She pauses. A half-second delay. Too long. Then that awful smirk shows up. What are you saying, Derek? I don't answer. You followed me? She asks, tilting her head like she's playing dumb. Were you spying on me at the party? You kissed him? She sips the cranberry juice, swallows. It was New Year's. I step forward. You kissed him, Vic. In the hallway, you looked right at me. She finally sets the carton down, leans against the counter, and crosses her arms. So what? You want to fight? You want me to fall on my knees and sob? Is that it? You want some dramatic confession? Her tone sharpens, cutting through the morning air like a blade. It meant nothing. I feel my fists tighten, not out of rage, out of disbelief, out of something deeper, something like mourning. Who is he? I ask. Someone who listens? Someone who doesn't treat me like I'm furniture? The words don't hit like punches. They land like hammers. Slow, methodical, brutal. I nod, say nothing. You don't talk to me anymore, she adds. Stepping closer, you walk around this house like it's a job to love me. Like it's some chore you've been doing out of obligation. And you solve that by kissing a stranger? I asked, finally raising my voice. Don't pretend he's a stranger. You know his name. You've seen him before. Hell, you shook his hand once. I feel my chest crack at that. That subtle way she made it sound like I was the idiot for not realizing sooner. Why not just leave me? I ask. She gives a breathy laugh. Maybe I didn't want to be the villain. Too late? The room feels heavier after that. Like the air itself is thick with all the words we hadn't said. In months, maybe years, she walks past me, brushing her shoulder against mine. Like I'm in the way. Like I'm nothing more than clutter. I don't turn to watch her go, just stare at the empty ring box, still sitting on the shelf behind the TV. Victoria had stopped being my wife a long time ago. I was just the last one to admit it. That day moved like smoke. Thick, lingering, impossible to grasp. I don't go to work, don't call anyone. Just sit on the back deck for hours, listening to the wind pass through the empty branches of the maple tree we used to hang lanterns around every summer. Bruno stays by my side, like he knows something has shifted, like he feels the splinter driving its way through the middle of our home. She doesn't check on me, doesn't say a word. Around 1 p.m., she leaves. No explanation, no glance back. Just grabs her purse, keys, and phone, and vanishes the way she's been doing for weeks, maybe longer. Maybe I'd been too stupid or too trusting to notice until now. The silence after the door closes feels like someone screamed into the walls and walked away. I sit in that silence until my legs ache from not moving. By 4:30 p.m., I'm in the bedroom. Her side of the closet is crammed with clothes I haven't seen before. Bright emerald dresses, lace she never used to wear, designer tags. A pair of Jimmy Choos still have a sticker on the bottom. She didn't buy these for me. I open her drawers. I'm not proud of it. But this isn't curiosity anymore. It's necessity, survival. I have to know what she's not saying. In the back of the top drawer, under some neatly folded blouses, I find the phone, not her regular iPhone. This one is older, black, scratched, dusty, but charged. I don't know why she kept it hidden. Maybe she was careless. Maybe she thought I'd never look, but she'd used it. I turn it on, no lock screen, and there they are, messages. So many hundreds. Scrolling past them feels like peeling skin from bone. Photos too. Her face lit up, lips puckered, clothes barely there. I can't look for more than a second. One message catches me. Tyler, tell him yet? Victoria, no, he's too pathetic. He'll figure it out soon enough. The date, 3 weeks ago. I sit down on the bed like I've been punched. My hands are shaking. This wasn't some mistake. It wasn't some accident after a few drinks. This was planned, calculated. She laughed about it behind my back. I don't cry. I can't. I just feel something hollow open inside me. Something raw and wide and full of rust. Like something rotted long ago. And now I'm just smelling it for the first time. I hear her car in the driveway. The door opens. I don't hide the phone. She walks into the bedroom with a shopping bag and a cup of iced mocha. Takes one look at me and freezes. Her eyes dart to the phone in my hand. She doesn't even try to lie. Well, she says, exhaling sharply. I guess that's that, huh? No shock, no panic, just irritation, like I'd inconvenienced her. I stand. How long, Victoria? She shrugs. Does it matter? Yeah, I say. It matters. She tosses the bag on the dresser. A few months, on and off. It was fun. And before you ask, no, I don't feel bad. You gave up a long time ago. I just stopped pretending we were still something we're not. You could have told me, I say. She laughs. Told you what? That I didn't want to wake up next to someone who barely even sees me? That I got tired of carrying this entire marriage like dead weight? You would have begged? You would have cried? I didn't want the drama. But cheating is better? I ask. Honestly? She snaps, stepping closer. Yeah, it was. You think you're so damn noble. Sitting around waiting for me to notice you. Like that earns you something? You were boring, Derek. Predictable. I needed more than that. I deserved more. She turns and leaves the room before I can speak. And in that moment, I realize I'm not just betrayed. I'm discarded. And she hadn't even flinched. The silence after she left the room was not silence at all. It was weight, a pressure against my chest, against my ribs. I can't breathe through it. I can't scream into it. I sit on the edge of our bed, my bed now, with the old phone still in my hand, and that one message repeating in my head, like a knife carving slow, deliberate lines into my memory. He's too pathetic. He'll figure it out soon enough. I'm not angry yet. That comes later. This is numb. The kind of numb that makes colors fade. I look around the room we'd shared. Her vanilla perfume still floating in the air. The throw blanket she picked out last fall, folded neatly at the foot of the bed. The photo of us on the nightstand. with the frame slightly tilted from when she dusted it last. All of it looks like a museum now, a curated exhibit of a lie. I stand up. I don't know what I'm doing until I'm already doing it. I take the photo and turn it face down. Then I open the closet and begin pulling her things out. Not in a rage, not tossing or throwing or shouting, just removing, quietly, systematically, dress by dress, drawer by drawer, every piece of her that still lived in this room. I fold and stack and place in garbage bags. By the time I'm done, the sun is already dipping behind the trees, casting long shadows across the carpet. She comes back inside at some point. I don't hear her. I only notice because her voice rings out from the living room, like nothing had happened. "Did you feed Bruno?" I don't answer. She walks into the bedroom, pauses at the doorway when she sees the bags. Her expression doesn't twist into guilt, not even embarrassment. It's annoyance. "Oh, so this is your big moment," she says. Arms crossed. "Throw my stuff in a few bags and pretend you're strong now." I stare at her. "You need to leave." She smiles. Smiles? "Wow, you really think you get to kick me out of this house?" "My name's on the mortgage. Yours isn't?" That one landed. Her face tightened for just a second. Then it passed. "Well, I'll be staying with Tyler tonight," she said, picking up the bags one by one. "Guess he gets the real me now." "No," I say calmly. "He gets the version of you that lies, cheats, and mocks the person who trusted you. He gets the leftovers." She pauses in the doorway, turns her head just enough so I can see her eyes. "You weren't strong enough for me, Derek," she says. "You never were?" And then she's gone. Door slammed, car started. Tires pulled out of the driveway. Bruno whined once and laid his head on my foot. I stand in the doorway for a long time after that, not because I don't know what to do next, but because I finally do. The first night without her is not peaceful. It isn't tragic either. It's still unnatural. A vacuum of routine that left echoes behind. I don't sleep in our bedroom. I can't. The smell of her vanilla lotion is still in the sheets. The indents in the mattress where she used to sleep are still there. Instead, I take a comforter and lay on the floor in the living room, with Bruno beside me, his breathing slow and heavy. Every time I close my eyes, I see her mouth on his. The way she smiled after, the way she looked right past me, like I wasn't even in the room. My phone buzzes around 2:55 a.m. I reach for it without hope. Part of me still wondering if it might be her, if there was any chance of decency left. It's Kevin from the New Year's party. "Kevin, hey man, I wasn't sure if I should text you. Dana told me what happened. I didn't know, I swear. If you need anything, I'm here." I stare at the screen, thumbs hovering, but I don't reply. There's nothing to say. By morning, I'm already on my second cup of coffee, sitting on the back steps in the cold, watching the fence she always hated sway, slightly in the breeze. She used to nag me about fixing that fence. She hated when things looked like they were falling apart. Too fitting, I think. At 10:25 a.m., a car pulls into the driveway. Not hers, not Tyler's either. It's a silver Honda. Her sister Lisa. She walks up to the porch slowly, as if she already knows something has detonated. "Hey," she says gently. I open the door and step aside. No words. She walks in, takes one look at the bag still by the door, then turns to me. She told me everything. At least her version. I don't respond. "She said you threw her out?" "That you found out and went ballistic." I laugh under my breath. "Ballistic?" I barely raised my voice. Lisa nods, scanning the room, like she's looking for evidence of destruction. That's what I figured. Then she sits down at the kitchen table, folds her hands, and looks up at me, like she doesn't want to say what comes next. "She's not sorry," Lisa says. "Not even a little. I tried talking to her last night. I told her she crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. She said you never deserved her. She said she only stayed because you were comfortable." I stay silent. Bruno rests his head on my foot again. "She's not coming back, Derek," she adds. "She's not going to fight for this. I don't even think she remembers who you were to her." That one stung because deep down I already knew it. "Then she can stay gone," I say. Lisa nods and stands. "I just wanted you to know." Not her version. The truth. I walk her to the door. She turns back before leaving. "She's going to regret this," she says, even if she never says it out loud. And with that, she's gone. That night, I clean the bedroom, wash the sheets, take down the photo from the nightstand, remove every trace of her, not out of hate, out of survival, because I'm not going to let her version of the story be the one that lasts. The days that follow don't feel like recovery. They feel like withdrawal. You'd be amazed how loud a house can be when one voice disappears. All the silence I used to crave, the quiet evenings, the peace after work. The space suddenly turns hostile. I find myself listening for footsteps that aren't coming, expecting doors to open that never will. And even worse than missing her was remembering how little she missed me. I stop sleeping in the living room, start reclaiming spaces like they're battlefields. Her side of the closet empty, bathroom counter cleared. I throw away her lotions, her makeup bag, even the candle she liked that smelled like fake jasmine. Every trace of her existence in this house had become a reminder that I'd been a fool. A soft, trusting, blind fool. One afternoon, I find the wedding album. It had been pushed to the back of the bookshelf, buried behind some travel guides we never used. I open it. There she is, Victoria beaming in her dress, eyes locked on mine. The kind of look that made you believe in things. I flip through the pages, watching us go from strangers in tuxedos and gowns to liars with matching rings. There's one photo where she's laughing at something I said. I stare at that photo for minutes, because that version of her, the one who laughed without bitterness, who looked at me like I was her whole world, was gone. Maybe she had been gone a long time. Maybe I just hadn't seen it. I put the album in a box and seal it. Don't throw it away, not yet, but I can't keep it on display, like some kind of monument to betrayal. Then comes the message. It's around 11:30 p.m. I'm about to go to bed when my phone lights up. Victoria, left my red coat there. I need it. I'll come by tomorrow morning. No apology, no greeting, no shame, just a demand. I stare at the screen for a long time before replying, Derek, it'll be on the porch. Don't come inside. She doesn't answer. The next morning, I leave the coat in a paper bag by the door. I sit in the kitchen, blinds slightly tilted, watching the street. She shows up 12 minutes late. Doesn't knock, doesn't call, just grabs the bag, looks up at the window like she knows I'm watching, then turns and walks back to her car. She looks different, like she'd aged in the last week. Or maybe it's just that I'm finally seeing her, without the filter of hope. I don't feel anything as she leaves. Not rage, not sorrow. Just nothing. That emptiness was my new beginning. Later that evening, I take a drive out past the city limits. Roll the windows down. No music, just the hum of the tires, and the sharp wind cutting through the cabin. At a red light, I look at my reflection in the rearview mirror and don't recognize the man staring back. But for the first time in weeks, he doesn't look broken. He looks ready. It's a Friday morning when I get the second message. This one isn't from her. It's from Tyler. Tyler, I think we should talk. I stare at the screen, unblinking. The audacity, the absolute gall. I hadn't spoken a word to this man. I hadn't said his name out loud. And now he wants a conversation. I don't respond right away. Instead, I stand up, walk to the sink, and rinse my coffee mug with slow, deliberate movements. Bruno watches me from the doorway, his ears twitching as if he too knows something isn't right. 18 minutes pass. I pick up the phone again. Derek, what for? His reply comes almost instantly. Tyler, she told me some things I didn't know. Everything. I feel like you deserve to hear it. Deserve? That word hit strange. I didn't deserve anything from him, least of all explanations. But some ugly part of me, that curious piece of a wounded man still sifting through the ruins, wanted to know what else she had poisoned. So I agree. We meet at a small coffee shop on the edge of town. Neutral ground, no memories there. I arrive early and choose a corner booth. When he walks in, I recognize him immediately. Tall, smug posture, eyes that move too fast, like he's used to calculating reactions. But this time he looks off balance. Guilty even. He sits down across from me and orders nothing. I didn't know she was still with you, he says. Not at first. I say nothing. I met her through work. She came on to me. That's not an excuse. I'm just being honest. She told me you two were pretty much done. Said you were sleeping in different rooms. That you were emotionally abusive. My jaw clenches. Do I look like someone who was abusive? No, he admits quickly. That's why I messaged. Because she lied to both of us. I lean forward. What else did she say? She said you were weak. That she felt trapped. That you didn't care about her. She told me she was planning to leave. But didn't want to hurt you. Said she just needed time. Time for what? I ask. To move her things out. To line things up so it looked mutual. I laugh bitterly. So she could keep her reputation? He nods. She's been lying to me too. About you, about other things. There's another guy, Derek. I just found out. I stare at him. He looks away. Another one? He nods again, slower this time. Yeah, some guy named Colton. She was seeing him before me, during me. I guess. I'm not sure. I thought you should know. I look at Tyler across that table, and for the first time, I don't see a villain. I see someone just as used, just as duped. Maybe he deserved it, maybe not. But in that moment, he wasn't who I hated. Thanks for the truth, I say quietly. He stands. I'm done with her. I should have seen it sooner. You weren't supposed to, I say. She's good at this. And with that, he left. I don't finish my coffee, just sit there for a long time, looking out the window, wondering how many layers of lies she'd buried us under. When I get home, I go straight to my laptop and open a blank document. I don't know what I'm writing at first. Maybe a letter, maybe a record. But the words start coming. This is what she did. This is what I saw. This is how I lost her before I even knew she was gone. I write until my fingers ache. It isn't revenge. It's reclamation. And it feels like the first real breath I've taken in years. The writing becomes a habit. Every night after the world is quieted. And the hum of loneliness returns like a second heartbeat. I open that document and add to it. Paragraphs at first, then pages. Memories, conversations, tiny moments that once felt mundane, but now crackled with hindsight. The first time she hid her phone screen for mail. The night she came home smelling like another man's cologne. And blamed the Lyft driver. Her sudden interest in solo vacations. To places we used to plan to visit together. It was all there now. Documented, organized, purged. One night I add a title to the file. The truth she left behind. Not because I plan to publish it. Not because I want revenge. But because the truth feels like something sacred now. Something I have to protect. After she spent so long burying it beneath her lies. Then something unexpected happens. Lisa texts me. Lisa, she's spinning the story, Derek. She's telling people you cheated on her. That you kicked her out after you got caught. It doesn't shock me. Not really. It just confirms what I already knew about her character. But it makes something else inside me shift. Some quiet urgency. She isn't content with just leaving. She has to burn the bridge behind her. And salt the ground. I respond with one word. Derek, proof. Lisa sends screenshots. Group texts, a voicemail. Victoria left her cousin sobbing. About how she was betrayed and emotionally manipulated. And pushed into someone else's arms. A full performance. She didn't just lie to my face. She lied to preserve her version of herself. I opened the folder on my desktop, where I'd saved the photos from the hidden phone. The messages, the timestamps, her own words, her own voice. I'm not going to use them, but knowing they exist gives me a strange sense of power. I hadn't felt in months. For once, I'm not the blind man in the dark. I'm the keeper of receipts. Later that night, I get another message. This one is from her. Victoria, so I hear you've been talking to my sister. That's cute. Didn't think you'd go crying to her? I stare at the screen, the gall again, the sneering tone. No remorse, just projection. Derek, don't worry, I'm not crying. I'm documenting. She doesn't respond. The next day, I start getting messages from mutual friends. Hey man, Victoria said some things. I just wanted to hear your side. This is all really messy. Are you okay? Do you want to grab a drink sometime? And I realized slowly, painfully, that some of them had bought into her version. But others are waking up, seeing through the cracks, asking questions. That night, I send one message to a close mutual friend. Nicole, someone who knew both of us since college. Derek, you want the truth? I'll send you everything. But you need to be ready to see who she really is. Nicole replies in less than 3 minutes. Nicole, send it. She already lost me. I just need to know why. And so I send it. The photos, the timeline, the messages, the venom she spat behind my back. Nicole reads it all, then replies with 4 words that feel like thunder in a whisper. Nicole, she burned everything good. I lean back in my chair after that. Bruno curled at my feet. The house still feels empty, but not as cold, not as wounded. Because bit by bit she's losing the lies, and I'm reclaiming the truth. The shift isn't dramatic. There's no fireworks moment, no cheering revelation. It's slower, subtle, a turning tide. But it happens. The people who had ghosted me when things blew up, the ones who stayed silent or mumbled, I don't want to get involved, begin drifting back one by one, like birds circling after a storm, realizing the coast is clear. Nicole becomes something of a lighthouse in that mess. She'd shown others the truth, the screenshots, the timeline. The venom Victoria had tried to spin into sympathy, and the reaction is consistent. Silence at first, then shame. One message stands out from Chris, an old friend of ours. Chris, I owe you an apology. I believed her. She made you look like the villain. I should have known better. I don't hold it against him. That was her greatest skill. appearing like the victim even while holding the matchbook, and pouring the gasoline. But her web had thinned, her masks cracked. Then comes the voicemail. It's Sunday evening. I'm out back grilling with Bruno curled in the grass nearby, when my phone lights up with a notification. Voicemail from Victoria. I didn't pick up when she called. I never do. I listen to it after I finish eating, sitting on the porch with a cold beer in one hand, bracing myself. Her voice is soft, wounded. Hey, I guess you've talked to everyone now. I heard what you've been saying. What you've been showing. I didn't expect you to be so vindictive. I thought maybe we could just move on. Clean break? But I guess you needed your little revenge arc. I won't stop you. Just remember that I did love you once. Maybe more than you deserved. And there it is, that final twist of the knife. Subtle, dipped in silk. She did love me once, more than I deserved. I laugh, not bitter, not even angry, just in disbelief. Victoria never changed. Even in retreat, she swung with poison. She wanted control even after losing it. I don't respond. There's nothing left to say. That night, I opened the document I had been writing, the digital purge, and I write what would become the final paragraphs. This is not a story of heartbreak. It's a story of awakening. She lied, she cheated, she discarded, and I survived. Not just the betrayal, but the story she tried to tell in my place. And now I own the ending. I close the file, rename it Closure. The next day, I start something new, a folder for the things that still matter. Photos of Bruno, letters from friends, small memories that feel real. I'm not carrying ashes anymore. I'm planting seeds. Victoria's last attempt to haunt me doesn't land, because I'm not standing in the ruins anymore. I'm already walking past them. The final chapter doesn't come with a bang. Comes in stillness, the kind of stillness that feels earned. 4 weeks after that voicemail, I stand in what used to be our kitchen, now unmistakably mine. The framed photo of her and I, once a centerpiece on the mantle, is gone, replaced by a print Lisa gave me. A painting of a winding path through a quiet forest. Peaceful, honest. That morning I signed the divorce papers. It's fast, no lawyers, no negotiations. She doesn't contest anything. She doesn't want to fight. She just wants it over. Or maybe more truthfully, she doesn't want to look me in the eyes again and see a man she can't lie to anymore. The last time I see her is at the notary's office. She wears Ray-Bans inside, as if the truth might be too bright to face directly. She doesn't speak to me, just signs where the clerk points, lips pressed tight in a line, that once knew how to smile at me. She leaves first. No hug, no handshake, no goodbye. Just footsteps fading down a sterile hallway, and a door that doesn't echo when it closes behind her. It's over, and I thought I'd feel relief. But what I feel instead is something sharper. Not pain, not anger. Clarity. She had taken pieces of me, lied with a smile, poisoned people against me. She had rewritten our story in her own voice. But when the final pages were written, she wasn't holding the pen anymore. I spend the next week tying up loose ends, canceling joint accounts, closing down the shared calendar, erasing traces of her in digital corners. It isn't just cleansing, it's reclamation. Then comes the call from Nicole. We're doing a bonfire this weekend, she says. You should come. Just friends, real ones. And I go, for the first time in what feels like a lifetime. I laugh without guilt. I stand among people who see me again. Not the hollow man Victoria had described in whispers, but the version I'd buried beneath 10 years of quiet compromises. Someone asks later that night, what happened between us? Why it ended? I look into the fire and answer simply. She taught me how to spot a lie wrapped in affection. The person nods like they understand, and I realize then this isn't my ending. It's my beginning. I go home that night, open the final version of the document I had once written in grief, and add a single line at the bottom. Survival isn't just about enduring betrayal. It's about choosing who you were after it. Then I hit save, close the laptop, and step outside. The night is clear, cold but clean. Bruno stands beside me, alert and calm, his eyes watching the same stars I am. Victoria was a chapter, but I am the author. And this story isn't over, not even close.